What's good, everyone? It's your boy Nati with another video for the channel. Welcome back to DME Sports Zone. We're here on another live stream after a Washington football team loss. Washington football team, your Washington football team, are now 6-8. Obviously, we had a whole string of COVID-related guys missing from the lineup. We had guys that were injured that were also missing. But as Ron Rivera says, no excuses. Washington did turn out to lose this game against Philadelphia Eagles, one of their biggest rivals, 17-27 at Philly. Abdullah, what are your initial thoughts on this game, bro?
Well, one thing, something that I never do, but I gotta toot my horn. I called the game. I said we were gonna lose 17-27, so that was pretty impressive. I don't know how I did that, but honestly, Gary Gilbert just like getting signed on Friday and somehow being able to compete with this team, like Eagles fans, like I understand it's a win, but it shouldn't have been this close. Honestly, I'm still proud of the fight. It just sucks because I think obviously it's a big if, but I think if Taylor or even Kyle Allen plays, I feel like we win this game. But the run defense was just getting gushed. Our defense looked tired out there. I mean, there was just one of the corner. We were so thin at cornerback. We had this guy. His last name was Elder, I think. I did not know who that was.
Yeah. I knew it for the preseason. That's it, bro.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. I mean, it was just a lot of things. It was really hard to see, but I'm just happy we kept it a close game. It wasn't a blow. They did give me some hope that we are going to come back after that Jared Patterson touchdown. And shout out to Jared Patterson, the hometown kid, finally scored for touchdown of the year. But it is what it is. We're 6-8. We won in Dallas next week.
Yeah, man. Like I said at the top of the show, a lot of COVID-related stuff that went on with this team this week. A lot of injuries. Gary Gilbert, I mean, he started off kind of good. The helping us go up 10-0 against Philadelphia Eagles, and then it was just putrid. Outside of that, the offense, man, bro, we're gonna talk about this later, but we need a quarterback, man. I obviously, like, Gilbert just came in last week, and of course, we need a quarterback with him just coming in last week. But like even before him, we had the whole Taylor Heineke thing, the whole Kyle Allen thing, and this man's Terry McLaurin, our favorite. I would say our favorite player, right? I believe he's your favorite player as well.
Yes.
Terry McLaurin. I believe he's gotten passes. He's gotten thrown passes from 8 quarterbacks in the last 3 seasons. Not even 3 seasons, right? That is unacceptable, bro. Like. I would agree with this. I don't know.
Yes, very much.
Bro, Abdullah, like I think at the start of the channel, at the start of you coming on this channel, I've been saying that Dwayne Haskins was arguably the worst quarterback that I've ever seen play here in DC. I mean, John Beck, people love throwing his name around. I would probably say he's the worst after further review. But no, I would probably agree with that, even with Gilbert, his terrible showing today. But no, man, what were the highlights? What were the highlights from this game for you?
Wow. I mean, Landon Collins, but before he got hurt, he was balling. Holy cow. I knew that was a pick 6, by the way. If we had a field goal that drive, I would have been mad, but we scored a touchdown. But that was just something that play the Dallas Goedert drop. That's something that we would do instead of the Eagles. But I mean, the crazy interception. And then he Montez Sweat, it was great to see him coming back from that broken jaw, the whole COVID thing situation, forced the fumble on Jalen Hurts. Oh my God, I thought he fumbled and we were gonna lose the ball again, but he was down. So had to hold my breath there. But Landon Collins, good to see him there. I mean, honestly, dude, I don't think we cut him this offseason coming up. I don't think so. So yeah, I mean, Landon Collins, I mean, Antonio Gibson, he had a touchdown, but again, dude, it's just like injuries and COVID. Like, I'm still happy that Ron Rivera prepared this team to fight and just, kept on going. But
yeah, no, I agree with you. Landon Collins, bro, Lando, man, since that switch, no matter how much this man's hated that switch, bro, at the end of the day, it did wonders for his career. I think it resurrected his career. He's been a beast since. I mean, interception after interception, forced fumble recovery. I mean, Landon Collins, I think he's earned his spot on this team beyond this year, right? I think at the halfway point of the season, everybody was on board with cutting him this offseason. I think everybody out there on Twitter, Facebook, everything I've seen. And then now it's just crazy to see that everything has flipped flipped, and everybody wants him to stay, and he's been balling out, right? I mean, I liked him in college, Landon Collins, right? Coming out of college, obviously he had the Sean Taylor thing where, pretty much idolized him and all that. But no, he started off hot with the Giants. Then he came here, did not have a great couple of seasons here. A lot of people thought he was going to get cut off season. But again, he turned things around, and kudos to the coaching staff for making the change that a lot of fans, including us, were saying should have been made at the start of the season, if we're going to be honest. But another thing that I wanted to highlight as well from this matchup, a highlight from the matchup, I will say Jonathan Allen, bro. I know we talk about Jeremy Reeves being my guy, but that's mostly because I got his autograph than like me being super high on him. Jonathan Allen has been I don't know. Like, I feel like he's this channel's like fan favorite, right? Like, even though obviously we don't have any connection with him, I've been high on him, bro, for the last 2 years. I said this on Twitter, and I stand by it. If you guys want to debate me in the chat. Jonathan Allen has been our best defensive player for the last 2 years. Has been our best defensive player the last 2 years. I said that last year. People laughed at me and were like, "Oh, we only had a sack and a half." Like, come on. He didn't get to the quarterback enough. How could he be our best player? We had Montez Sweat at 9 sacks. Chase Young gets 7.5, although he was super inconsistent throughout the season. Jonathan Allen is a beast, bro. He grades out very well on PFF. He grades out very well on any sort of scouting metric. And he has 8.5 sacks this year. I think that's his career high, if I'm not mistaken, right? Eight sacks. I think it was his second year, if I'm not mistaken, or third year. Now he has 8.5, right? On top of his amazing rush defense and, the quarterback hurries that he accumulates and all that. He's great, man. Jonathan Allen is great, and I'm glad that he's here on this team. And then my only other highlight really was the John Bates catch and run on third down. That was very good, and that helped us get within a field goal. But obviously, we saw what happened after that. But Roger Smith saying ridiculous game plan. Really, I mean, I did like a couple of the plays. That drive, what I just mentioned, the John Bates drive where he caught that was a great play call. I'm not gonna lie, great play call. I remember saying that audibly to the television screen. But outside of that, I don't know. I kind of agree with Roger. Like the play calling was not there. What are your thoughts, Abdul?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like, why are we running on this play when you just see the box like just stacked up? It doesn't make any sense. But I want to go back to Jack Del Rio, that 3rd and 6 when we brought everybody. I felt like that was kind of predictable because I don't know like if that cost us the game, because if we stop them there, we get the ball back. But that really hurt. But I mean, Scott Turner, I mean, like when he's hot, but when his play calling is terrible, it's terrible.
J.R. Smith, the play callers. But yeah, bro. I don't know if they suck. I don't think the Washington football team sucks. One, obviously, I'm not one of those people who, like, when it comes to injuries and all that, like, makes excuses for this team. I'll just say this. I think this team is mediocre. Mm-hmm. And, obviously that is not great. That is not where we want to be. But at least that's better than what we were, I don't know, at the start of the season, 2019. I mean, this is going back to the whole 7-9, 8-8 days of Kirk Cousins, which, again, is not great. There's a reason why we did not re-sign Kirk Cousins, because we were tired of that. But I think, it's hard for me to say this right now after this loss, but I think this team, at least they show some fight that, like, they're not down and out, right? No, like Ron Rivera said a couple weeks ago, no excuses. Injuries, COVID, doesn't matter. This team needs to fight, and they continue fighting. Hopefully they'll secure the dub against Dallas. I don't think that's likely, but we'll talk about that later at the end of the show. But now let's get into the lowlights of this matchup. What are your thoughts?
Well, I understand that Philly's like offense was number 1 in rushing, but oh my goodness, dude, like there were plays where I think it was Sanders that just kept getting 10 yards plus. I mean, the gaping holes, and we were like, I think 10th or 11th against the run, and they had more rushing yards than our whole offense of total yards. So that was pretty crazy. I mean, Jalen Hurts as a passer, he had some nice throws, but I still don't think he's that great of a pocket passer. But again, when it came down to the time to make a stop, we just couldn't do it. And, Garrett Gilbert, man.
Yeah.
First of all, sorry,
cautious.
number 19 on a quarterback looks ugly. I wanted to say that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I always said that at the beginning, bro. Like, yeah, that was just not a great number. Not a great number. But I mean, he just got here on Friday, so you can't really say anything. But what I wanted to say was that in terms of lowlights from this matchup, I like to use my words cautiously. I'm gonna say it. Jalen Hurts had a great game today. He had that one pick, but that was the flukiest of picks, right? You can't really blame him for that. He had a great game today in terms of running the ball, in terms of his precise throws. Like a lot of people forget, it was raining today, and he threw that precise throw. I think it was a back shoulder fade. Jeremy Reeves was all up there in coverage. I believe it was Greg Ward, who caught that pass. I mean, he was great today. Or we couldn't really do anything to stop him. But I think, like you said at the top of your comments, the biggest miscue from today, the one that like I even got a text message from one of my friends who lives in Chicago but is out there in Philadelphia for grad school, and he basically said this, and I agree. Our rush defense was putrid today. We are ranked going to this matchup, I believe, 5th in rush defense, overall rush defense, 4th in rushing yards per game allowed in the NFL. And we did not look like that throughout the game tonight. That was absolutely unacceptable. I think we gave up over 220 yards, 230 yards on the ground. That is absolutely unacceptable for this defense. I know Jack Del Rio is just gonna, he's gonna pummel the defensive players going into next week's or this upcoming week's matchup against Dallas. But our rush defense was absolutely terrible, and we need to get that fixed ASAP. Another low light from this game. We did not target Terry McLaurin enough. I know we talked about this off camera. He gave me just enough points to win my fantasy matchup. I'm glad he had that last catch at the end, or I think it was in the second quarter. And he definitely won me my matchup by a little bit, but we did not target him enough. I think he had 3 catches on the day. He had that one long catch. That was pretty much all of his production. Yeah, 46 yards. That was pretty much all of his production throughout the day. And that's unacceptable in my eyes. I know we have a quarterback that was just here on Friday, just got signed. But still, like, where's the great game plan to target him? But yeah, those are just like my initial thoughts. Oh, also we still can't guard tight ends. We still can't.
That was guard.
That's bro. He had 100 yards, I think, in the first half, bro. Like, and a touchdown. We can't guard tight ends. We can't guard, and our linebackers. We drafted a linebacker in Jamin Davis who was supposed to be that tight end stopper, right? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Jamin Davis thus far?
I mean, I understand that he's as a project, but he's had his ups and downs. I get when it comes to tackling, he's been there, sometimes inconsistent at times, but I mean, I don't know. I want to give him a year. I want to give him a year or two to see how he does, like if he improves or not. So he hasn't really shown like any reason why he was a first round pick. So I mean, and it's also a big thing because we see Micah Parsons balling out in Dallas. We see Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah balling out in Cleveland. So it hurts.
Jock, yeah. Bro, we had multiple chances of drafting Jock, and I think all of us fans. That was one of the things that all of us fans were right on, like in full agreement that we should have drafted Jock. Also, yeah, I mean, it always hurts. 6 picks up ahead of us, Micah Parsons. But although his character, bro,
I don't think Ron Rivera would have dealt with that. There's no way,
bro. Like, we had I messaged Evan. I think this was after a stream. We talked about Michael Parsons and his off the field issues in college and stuff. And I messaged Evan basically with like a tweet that summarizes all the stuff he did in college. And yeah, I definitely understood why we did not draft him. It just hurts to see him play the way he does on the field and stuff. But yeah, Roger Smith here saying, we have an abundance of talent all over the field on offense and defense. It is the coaching. They are pitiful. They aren't anywhere close to good. They are pathetic. Both schemes are flawed. I think Ron Rivera is a good coach. I mean, there's a reason why this team fought really until the end, right? Even with all the COVID players, all the players on the COVID list, all the injured players, they still fought. But in terms of game planning, Scott Turner, we talked about that, right? But I think I think really Scott Turner, again, we keep saying this, but I think it's a fair point. We really don't know what we have in Scott Turner until we have like an actual quarterback. like throwing the
Yeah.
ball, right? Like I don't know. I don't know, man. I think our defense also really sold today. We talked
Yeah.
about the rush defense, but like pass defense. Oh, what are your thoughts on the William Jackson injury?
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, Daryl Roberts, Corn Elder. Who else is that corner? I forgot. We were just so thin, and it's just, I was, and the crazy thing was, up to that point, they weren't even killing us to the passing. Well, I don't know. It was mainly on the run, and then when they started throwing the
Okay.
ball, it was like, yikes, man. But William Jackson, I mean, he had his lows in the beginning of the year, and looked like he turned it around. But hopefully, his injury doesn't take him out the whole season. I still want to see him play out there.
Yeah. Pedro is saying here Scott has to get bro, we literally like I'm telling you 2 minutes ago we were just talking about that. That's unacceptable, man. Terry McLaurin, top 10 receiver in this league. Bro, I know last week he was out of the game early. Let's be fair. He definitely locked him down before he got injured. We got injured, left the game, didn't have any catches. But I mean, it's been like a good month now with very little productivity from Terry McLaurin. I don't think it's all him. I think it's just the game planning. Like you got to target him, right? Like how many times have we seen offenses that don't get their receivers going? They at least give them like an end around run behind the line of scrimmage or a handoff, right? Like think of a Debo Samuel, right? When the receiving game isn't going, you get your receivers involved some way, somehow. We don't do that with Terry, right? We leave him out on the boundary. Sometimes we put him in the slot, but if that doesn't work, that's it. We kick him out of the game, put in Adam Humphries, put in DeAndre Carter, put in Cam Sims. And there were points towards the end of the game. There were points towards the end of the game where we only had DeAndre Carter, Cam Sims, and Adam Humphries on the field, and not Terry McLaurin. And it wasn't like he was gassed, right? Like obviously he needed to get some break, but like this was at the very end of the game. That's unacceptable. We got to get it more involved. John Bates only getting one target. That one target definitely was a huge target. He could have scored a touchdown on that. But yeah, I think he should have got more involved. Seals Jones got 7 targets. Well, what are your Pedro brings up an interesting point implicitly here, but do you think that John Bates deserves to be the starter over Seals Jones for the rest of the season?
I mean, honestly, Seals Jones, like besides that Giants catch, and he had a pretty good game today. He can be really inconsistent at times, and I mean Bates, good blocker. I don't know. Bates is younger, so I want to see what he can do, but I honestly I don't think one has edge over the other, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. I just think John Bates as a blocker is just far superior
Mhm.
to Ricky Seals Jones, and I think that definitely gives him the edge because I mean, John Bates, he has soft hands. I think we talked about that in the
Mhm.
offseason. Corey from On the Warpath was his biggest fan, pretty much. Even compared him to Greg Kittle in a sense because he's like a middle round draft pick that didn't really have that great of production as a tight end in college, but have the tools. He has great hands, great blocking. We all know that. So I definitely think Bates, at least I agree with Pedro here. If not starting here for the rest of the season, then definitely going to the next season. Logan Thomas, it should be Logan Thomas and John Bates, 2 tight end playbook opened up every single week. I think they should both get involved starting next year. But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's not Terry. I don't know at all. Like again, like we got to be honest with ourselves. Last week before he went up for that pass that Aaron passed and he couldn't corral. I mean, if he corralled it, bro, top 2 receiver in the league. But he got locked down by Trevon Diggs, guys, for most of that
Mhm.
game. Like we got to be honest with ourselves. We do. I'm
Yeah.
a Terry McLaurin like not just fan. I have him on my fantasy team. I realize he got locked down. Um and but no, I agree with you. It's not him most of the time. It's really the quarterback. And yeah, oh, great point, Pedro. What a bust of a draft pick, bro. What a bust of a draft pick.
You think
De'Ami Brown.
is it too soon, or you think is it safe to
Oh,
say
it's a
now?
bust. I mean, I can change it. I can change it starting next year. We'll see if this is just a rookie wall. I mean, usually a rookie wall happens after some production at the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season they hit the wall. But maybe he hit the wall before the preseason even started. But but I don't know, man. De'Ami Brown, yikes, bro. Yeah, I see. I remember. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Rio, fan ambassador Rio, our good friend of the channel, who said, yeah, and Bleeding Burgundy as well, who were like, yeah, he's just running around, bro. She's just
Getting
running around on
cardio.
the field. Like, I think he did have one block. I don't know if it was on the kick. It might have been on kick.
Whoa, he had a tackle. I remember
Oh,
it.
tackle. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was on
wow.
special teams. Yeah,
Yeah.
which
I
is not
mean,
his primary job, but
this is something we always talk about, dude, but I'm just tired of not having a franchise quarterback, dude. Like, we always say this. I want to buy a quarterback's jersey and hopefully be happy that I didn't waste my money on another failed QB. But hopefully right now we have pick 10 as of right now. So we'll see come draft time if we draft our guy or if number 12 wants to come to DC, but that's not going to happen at all.
bro, stop it. Pedro. Oh, for sure, bro. That first play, that was a 46-yard game. That should have been a touchdown. If it was an actual quarterback who had an arm, that would have been a touchdown easily. He beat Darius Slay pretty much off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
like that should have been a touchdown. That would have helped my fantasy. I don't think it matters because that last catch at the end helped me. But like, bro, that should have been a touchdown. I completely understand that. Taylor Heineke, how many times have we heard about him underthrowing Terry McLaurin this season, bro? How many times? But yeah, man, we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback for sure. I know Jordan from Washington football team today, formerly Redskins today, always says it. We need a franchise quarterback. It's very exhausting. I'm about the same age as him as well, and it's just exhausting to see this quarterback situation in DC just always be in flux. Stop. I don't know about that. Trash is a harsh word. We got to stop, guys. We had a 4-game winning streak, bro, with a lot of our guys that were out this year. Again, this is coming from someone who tends to not be optimistic about this team. But I think we're mediocre. I start off the show by saying that I think we're mediocre. We're not trash, right? Especially once we get our guys back off of COVID. We're not trash, but we're not good either. We are mediocre. Pedro asking an interesting question. I think we talked about this on the live stream, the pre-live stream for this game. But thoughts on Derek Carr?
I mean,
decent.
I think he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. I wouldn't mind him, but again, like at what price? And I think we would have enough cap space. I'm pretty sure, right? We're up there.
Yeah, bro. I think we have like the third most cap space, and also the cap hit when the maximum salary cap went up 10 million or 20 million. I'm sorry, from last year, 10 million from 2 years ago. So we got some money to spend.
Yeah. I mean, I know like you said you're not like a firm believer on the quarterbacks on this draft coming up.
Oh no, that's putting it lightly. Yeah, I don't believe in quarterback. Sam Howell is he's been my guy the last 2 years, but nah, especially top 10 in the draft, bro. You're just reaching because it's a quarterback at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind Derek Carr. I love the guy. I think he deserves better than what he's been given in Las Vegas. So.
Yeah. I think you know this. Like Aaron Rodgers is my number one guy. I would do anything to bring him here in DC. Anything. All the people say, and Chris is probably one of these people, if I'm not mistaken. He's 38. He's a cancer in the locker room. Wait, Chris didn't say this. Let me be fair. Chris did not say this, but I know people in this chat that have said this before, and people on Twitter especially. Aaron Rodgers is 38. He's too old. He's a cancer in the locker room. His character, look at. Obviously, he screwed up with the whole COVID situation, but outside of that, he's a locker room scare. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? We don't need him. We have Taylor freaking Heineke, bro. We don't need Aaron Rodgers, the MVP and likely MVP front runner right now. We don't need him. Considering age and everything, okay, that's fair. Russell Wilson's that's fair. Did the Seahawks win today?
No, they lost 2010.
They lost. Okay. Yeah.
Cooper Cup
went might be more angry right now about this team in Seattle. So that's a fair pick. I'm talking about in terms of getting the guy that will lead us, that will give us the best chance of winning a championship within the next 5 years. Aaron Rodgers is that guy. I don't even think that's a discussion there. And also, if we do what the Tampa Bay Bucks did with adding some more offensive weapons around Tom Brady when he came to Tampa Bay, and maybe doing that with Aaron Rodgers, I know this is a dream. This is a dream. Let a man dream. But bringing over Devontae Adams along with Aaron Rodgers would be massive, and we have the cap space to do it. We do, especially with the cap going up. That's my dream. Okay, guys, don't hate on me. Okay, this is a dream. We can all dream. Okay, I'm not saying this is realistic because it's not. Neither of those guys are probably going to be here, but it's a dream.
We deserve the dream.
Wilson, yeah. Russell Wilson is a great pick, though. I think, especially given his situation and the Seahawks, I think right now being out of contention, that's a great pick, Pedro. But Aaron Rodgers is still my guy. But with the Derek Carr, going back to the original question that Abdul answered and I did not, I'm fine with Derek Carr. I think he is Kirk Cousins, but a little bit more clutch, and I'm fine with that. I'm very fine with that. I have you probably saw this, Abdullah, but I tweeted at my one of my he was my former work supervisor. He's a big Raiders fan, and he wants to get rid of Derek Carr. He wants to get rid of Derek Carr, and I think Las Vegas / Oakland is in the same boat right now. And no, I think it would be great. He's pretty young as well. He's not like super old or anything. And again, a very unsettled, unstable situation, just like Seattle. So either one of those guys would be great. Also, I don't think Derek Carr's asking price would be as high as Russell Wilson. So consider that as well. Biggest holes. I think this is a fair list. Free safety. I don't think it's the third biggest need on this team because of the fact that we have Landon and Cam Curl. Bobby McCain, I'm not a huge fan of him, but we still have him on this team, and he's still getting starting reps. I don't think free safety right now, which is kind of crazy for me to say, but I think free safety right now is the third biggest need on this team. I agree, quarterback, obviously the biggest need on this. It's been the biggest need on this team for the last 20 plus years, bro. Quarterback number one. Minus maybe Kirk Cousins years, but quarterback number one. Wide receiver number two. Do you agree with that?
I mean, something that we didn't talk about. I am officially done with Curtis Samuel. That man is Paul Richardson 2.0. I gave this man so many chances, but man, oh man, dude, what a sign. I mean, get a receiver too.
Yeah. Devontae Adams, bro. Devontae Adams with Terry McLaurin, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Let a man dream, bro. Let a man dream. But no, I agree with you, man. We need a legit wide receiver too. I think, we got to admit this. A lot of us in the offseason did want a guy like a Kenny Golladay, right?
It's a good thing.
I'm glad we did not spend $18, $19 million a year on a Kenny Golladay. I'll just say that. Although we did spend $13 million a year on a Curtis Samuel, who gave us pretty much zero production this year. But it's an affordable contract, relatively affordable. Hopefully he'll be back next season and he'll be ready to go. But I agree with you. We need to add to the receiver room. If not in the draft, then definitely in free agency because it is not it right now. It is not it. And we have money to spend until Terry's up for his new deal. And obviously he will be up for it very soon. But you could always backload his contract and stuff and maybe bring in another pretty pricey receiver and have him in here for a couple of years and just work out the salary cap that way. But I definitely agree with you. We need a receiver. Free safety, I mean, we have Bobby McCain again, Pedro. I think he qualifies as a free safety. Cam Curl has played a lot of free safety this year as well as strong safety. Landon Collins, I know he's a linebacker, but I mean, he plays a strong safety linebacker role. I don't think free safety, like, even if Pedro, this is not in order, I don't think free safety is one of our top four biggest needs on this team. I think quarterback is definitely one of them. Receivers, another one.
Probably right guard because Sheriff might be gone too. Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, speaking of, Brandon Sheriff, he doesn't matter. He doesn't do anything for this team. He's a walking injury. Oh my gosh. What happened to the running game today, Abdullah? Brandon Sheriff was out.
It wasn't there.
What about the pass protection? Although obviously we didn't give up too many sacks, but I saw a lot of pressure in Gerald Gilbert's face. But I think we all agree $18 million for a right guard, even if he's a top 2, 3, 4 right guard, is just too much. So I mean that makes that's kind of a fair point, Abdullah.
But I
And
don't want him. But not. I don't want him to walk though, because it'll be like Trent Williams 2.0, where we just don't get nothing for a player of that
yeah,
caliber.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fair point. I'm still pissed off about the Trent Williams situation, bro. I mean, I see a bunch of tweets now, but from the beginning, bro, we've been talking about it. But yeah, I would also say what else? Oh, linebacker. Yeah, I would definitely put linebacker, which is absolutely ridiculous, bro. We just spent a first round pick, a high draft pick on a linebacker, and we still need another linebacker. Yeah, but I agree with you, Pedro, on that. What else? What other positions of need do we have on this team?
I don't know if kicker's in need, honestly, but that's not. But probably the least of our need.
I mean, it's gonna be important though. Like in tight
Yeah.
games, the kicking game is super important. Um, I would agree. We need to get the kicker situation one way or another resolved. Yeah, bro, we all did, and he's from Virginia too, which makes it even
Dude,
worse.
I played high school football with his brother, and I
Are
was
you
like, bro,
serious?
yeah, I did. His brother, he was like, I think 2 years, or no, he was a freshman. I was a senior, and he was like, yeah, dude, I really want him to come here. He was like, yeah, we want him too, but he's from Newport News, I'm pretty sure, and that
That's
happened.
crazy.
He really balled
That's
out against
crazy.
the Raiders as well too. Here's what it
Oh,
is.
yeah, that's crazy. It really is. But I mean, I think you're right, Pedro. 1 year contract. We could always resign him in an inexpensive deal. I just don't think free safety is a top 4 need on this team. Like I think we can address it in the offseason pretty well. But I think our safety situation with Landon, Cam Curl, maybe bringing back Bobby McCain or maybe bringing some other free safety, I think that will do. Like I really don't think that's a huge position of need. Um, who do you think cornerback is a need? Cornerback?
I mean,
Even with all the money we spent?
honestly, a good question. I'm confident in Kendall Fuller and William Jackson and Ben St. Juice. He showed some flashes, but I don't think it's our biggest of needs, if that makes sense. I think it'll be like the low end.
Yeah, I think William Jackson has definitely, definitely, definitely recovered from the first half of the season where he was just getting beat all the time and it was just not good. Period, point blank. I think he's definitely become a much better corner as the season has gone along. And it sucks though. He got that injury, right? I think he would have been a big part of that defense. The latter stretches of this game when Jalen Hurts was slinging and dealing pretty much, and I think he would have definitely helped our pass defense. But no, I agree with you. William Jackson, I'm very comfortable with him being our starting cornerback here in DC next year. Kendall Fuller, although he also did not start off good whatsoever, he's been super inconsistent since the 4 or 5 game stretch that he had at the beginning of 2020, where he's like all pro level play. But I'm comfortable with him being our cornerback too. I definitely do think though we need to draft another cornerback. Um, I don't think Pedro we're saying it's a big need. I'm just saying like maybe it's another position that we should address at least through the draft or free agency. I'm just trying to think of any other like real positions of need that we have on this team. Running back is a position that we can add to.
Dude,
I don't think it's a need.
okay, let me hear your take on this. I was talking to some fans. They said they want to trade Antonio Gibson.
Uh
You agree with that?
I not right now. I mean, if he I don't know.
Dude,
That's tough because you don't want to trade him when his value, although it's not like as low as it's been the last 2 weeks. I mean, he's still off like how many fumbles? 6 fumbles. Like I don't think his
yeah,
value is super high right now. Like let's say he has a couple more games of very good production. Maybe you consider it, but at the end of the day, I don't trade him. I don't trade him.
yeah,
He's still
yeah,
super young. He's like 23 years old.
yeah.
Last time I checked, he's still top 10. But then I think like top 6 in NFC rushing yards, if
Rushing,
I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Might be down a peg after this matchup, but no, I wouldn't trade Antonio Gibson. I would just add to the position, honestly. I really would.
Do you miss
Uh,
paying Barber after today, or
oh
they
no,
don't
no, still no,
even-
no. I don't care what he's doing with the Raiders, bro. This man's was literally 3 yards in a cloud of dust, bro. I'm done. I'm paying Marver. He literally like like even in the Raiders game, I didn't even think about him, bro. Like I know that's kind of sad, but I didn't even think about Peyton Barber. Like I haven't thought about him since last offseason, to be honest. But no, I think we made the right decision there. J.D. McKissick, bro.
Oh,
J.D.
he's so valuable in this
McKissick.
game.
He's bro, we've been saying this since the beginning of the season. He's so valuable to this team. Like a lot of people just think, oh, he's just a backup to Antonio Gibson. Again, I shouldn't say a lot, but like there are people out there who think that, bro, he's so valuable as a running back, as a pass catcher. He was second on our team last year and receiving receptions, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think he was second in the whole league as a running back in receptions last year, and also second on our team last year in receptions. And this year, he just picked off where he left off last year. He was very good in the receiving game. He's not the greatest of runners. I would definitely go with Antonio Gibson as the overall running back. In terms of pass catcher, I still stand by the point that he is a better pass catcher than Antonio Gibson, even with Gibson being the former running back that he is, or wide receiver that he is, I should say. Tyler Huntley.
Oh, trade for Tyler Huntley. Huh? I mean, it was a great performance. Honestly, put up that fight against Aaron Rodgers, but again, no,
he's not the answer. Like, yeah. I mean, he's good. I like him too. Pedro says he likes him. I like Tyler Huntley. I watched that entire game. Like, he was good. He was good. And bro, I'm telling you, if you looked at him, like, if you looked at the television screen when it was like, you know, a read option play or something, bro, this man's looked just like Lamar. Bro.
He's Lamar.
Like, he was not as fast as him or shifty, but bro, this man's looked like just like Lamar, and they run the same offense pretty much. Better than they did with RG3 as the backup, but that's another story for another day. But no, I do like him, Roger, to answer your question, but he's not the answer. He's not the answer. We gotta stop with like these project developmental guys. Also, you gotta consider their whole Ravens offense is built around that type of quarterback. Like, do you really trust you said yourself you do not believe in Scott Turner. You believe in this offensive this offensive coaching room scheming up that sort of scheme here in DC. Like I don't know. I definitely think though we need to go after a big fish in free agency at the very least at quarterback. At least like sniff around and try to see if we can get one of those guys, even a Derek Carr. But I don't know. Tyler Huntley, I just don't believe in him as the answer here in DC. I really don't. Maybe he might show something later, but I just don't see it right now. No, I didn't say that. I'm for getting one of the big fish in free agency. And when I say that, I mean, or via trade, Aaron Rodgers, Sean Watson, if things clear up, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr. One of those four guys I hope is here by the start of the 2022 season.
We could have a shot at Watson because the Dolphins, I think Tua has been playing better, so they might be more confident in him. And Eagles, I don't know if they're still with Jalen Hurts, who knows, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I don't know. Even again, like a Derek Carr, in my opinion, would be nice. Peace out, Pedro. Thanks for joining, bro. Go check out Pedro's channel if you haven't already. This man's is pumping out great content every day, if I'm not mistaken, Pedro.
I always get the notification at least like 6 times a week about his
video. I know. It's a lot. But no, Pedro makes great content, and he's a friend of the channel. So go check him out, guys, if you haven't already. But dang, we're already at the 38-minute mark, man. It feels like we just started. No, I don't know. Well, let's move on. Let's move on from this matchup.
We touched on this. Sorry. Before we move on, Jeremy Reeves deserves a spot on this team. Like this guy, like he bounces from practice squad but like he makes plays. Like he'll hit anybody. I mean, I don't know if you're high on him though.
I mean, he's a good backup. I can't see him as a starter here in DC, like at the free safety position. Like,
yeah, not starter, but he shouldn't be on the practice squad. I think he should always be for depth for sure.
That's a fair point. Yeah, and I definitely don't think that Dallas Goedert like mossing him was his fault. He was right there.
No, he was right there. That's just a good play by Dallas Goedert. Yeah,
that was like the Cam Sims situation from last week. Like Trevon, I mean, he was right there. Cam Sims just bossed him. I mean, you can't really do too much about that when you're in coverage. But no, I agree. He's a backup. Better than McCain. That's a debate. That's for sure a debate. But I agree with you. At least he should be on this team as a backup, and I think he might if injuries continue, COVID, God forbid, continues with this team. But I do want to get to the rest. This upcoming matchup, right? We got the Dallas Cowboys, and no, we don't have to wait a week or even 6 days for the matchup. It's on this Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. It's already Tuesday night, guys. It's about to be
Sunday
Wednesday
night.
morning
Yeah.
in a couple of minutes. But thoughts on this matchup against the Dallas Cowboys? We're 6-8. I believe we have to win out to really get a hold of the seventh playoff spot. So, what are your thoughts on this matchup against Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, I always say don't tank because it's just not good for the culture. And it's the Cowboys, so play your tails off. And then we got the Eagles and Giants. So try to win out and see what you can do, and beat Dallas.
Yeah. We'll probably bring our benches too. I'm glad we did not talk about that because that is a non-discussion.
Oh, also, this is like something small, but Mark Sanchez was so biased when he came to the. Hey, bro, this man even played for us. Oh my,
bro, it's not just. In my opinion, it's not even just biased. This man's was one of the worst. He had one of the worst announced games like I've ever seen / heard on TV, bro. It was horrific. This man's. I remember Disco, if I'm not mistaken, on Twitter. Huge Boston football team following. I remember he said this, and I literally said this to my television screen like 2 minutes prior. This man said Garrett Gilbert was on fire. I think something along the lines of on fire when he was 2 for 3, bro, at the beginning of the game, bro.
Yeah.
Like what? And then he just continued to bro. It was just a lot of bad calls by Mark Sanchez today. And then you also have to include the bias as well. It was just not great. It was not great. But great point there. I will say Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you got to beat them. They're our arch nemesis. 6-8 though. I mean, we'll see which guys we have back. I did hear that Cam Curl was unvaccinated, so that's an automatic 10 games, automatic 10 days. I don't know if he'll be ready for Sunday's matchup. We'll see, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be another tough one. I'm not expecting a W, as I said at the beginning.
I just don't want to blow out because
yeah,
Cowboys fans, man.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I want a W. I'm not expecting it.
Of course,
but yeah, again, we'll see. We'll probably see our benches out there in Dallas. But what are your thoughts on the rest of the season for this team? Do you think this team has a good shot of making the playoffs, or are we really in the whole draft mode?
I think we're in draft mode. The season's over. I think the Vikings or Saints will get that 7th seed, and I think we should still try. We're 6-8. I still went out and go 9-8. That's something positive to look upon. And I think we said 9-8 before the season started, right? When he came to,
I said 9-8 or 8-9.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously, don't tank. It's not good for the culture. Just win out, and it's your division rival. So do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, on top of it being great that our prediction is right this year. And me, I don't like to my own horn, but 2 years in a row. I said 9 last year too. But no, outside of that, it'll be great to see this team make another run, right? We're on a 2-game losing streak now, off a 4-game winning streak. Be nice to see this team finish off 3 straight W's. But it's gonna be tough. You know, a lot of us were saying that they were gonna sweep the Eagles. That did not happen. I thought before our NFC East slate, I said we were going to split the Eagles, split the Cowboys, and beat the Giants. We'll see if that happens, right? They're going to need to win the next 3 for that to happen. But we shall see. And
the one thing that is scary is that the Eagles have 3 first-round picks next year. The Giants have 2. So NFC East is just going to look more scarier come up. And I don't know. Maybe they'll screw it up, but who knows? They probably fire Clear House by then.
Yeah, we all need. I was about to say we all need quarterbacks, but I don't know. Jalen Hurts showed some things today, so we'll see. But yeah, man, it's another sad live stream. I think we did have our spirits up a little bit, but another sad live stream after Washington versus Philly, Week 15. Roger Smith is pretty much calling it quits. We have no shot at all draft mode. It's because of coaching 6-11 progression, and I don't know about 6-11. We do have the Giants on our schedule, and it won't get better until we have better coaching. We aren't winning anything with these coaches. Again, I think Roger and I are disagreeing on this, at least when it comes to Ron Rivera. I think he's a solid coach. I think we just need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. There's only so much that coaching can do. right? Like there's only so much. We don't have a quarterback, and we need to get one ASAP. But it's again easier said than done. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, another downer, but we'll be right back with some great content coming up for this week's matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, our arch nemesis out there in Dallas. And so thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night, and see you on the next one. Have a great week leading up into Christmas. Peace. You got something to say, Abdullah? Or?
Honestly, beat Dallas, please, guys. If we beat Dallas, it's a successful season.